Hi, we're back. Thanks for staying with us. In studio with me now is Mr. Riggs Eckelberry. He is, of course, the CEO of OriginOil, OOIL. Riggs, always good to see you.
Hey, Don.
Now, you're freshly back from New York.
Do I have that tan?
You have the New York tan, right, yeah.
A little gray.
See, it's called smog.
That's right. Well, it's a fun town. But, of course, I was there for the National Algae Association's conference, which was held there for a change. Usually it's Houston. Mm-hmm. And they, you get the sense in the room that algae is on the verge of really breaking out. Mm-hmm. You know, I was with the media a lot as well, met with a number of news outlets while I was there, and they were consistently surprised to hear that how much algae is actually happening. Mm-hmm. Martech, for example, just got sold for $1 billion cash to DSM in Britain, in Great Britain, and that is a company that supplies 99% of all baby formula in the U.S. with DHA already. So algae is in all the baby formula. Wow. As it is. And of course, Solazyme is going to supply 500,000 gallons to the DOD in 2011, this year. So, you know, things are moving, and so we have this sort of pre-critical mass. Mm-hmm. And of course, I talked about the killer app, which is carbon capture. Mm-hmm. You know, it's simple. Nobody's going to complain about, well, what do you do in the downstream? Hey, right. We're sucking up the CO2 and it's being made like heck. So that's huge.
That's amazing. I know that you brought with you a report about what went down in New York. Let's listen to that now.
Let me key it up. Let me set it up just a little bit. Sure. Because what our intention was to announce a new role to take responsibility for our customers who are saying, please don't have 12 vendors. Yeah. And actually, bring in an integrated approach to the algae production process. And so I walked through that, and this was my presentation.
Our next presenter is going to be Riggs Eckelberry from OriginOil. He's been with the NAA since its existence, and his technologies keep getting better and better.
You know, I came from high tech, and we know that it all relies on the killer app. What's the killer app? For us, the killer app is this carbon capture game. Why? Because it's the easiest thing algae does. Regardless of whatever else algae does, it does use CO2. The whole nuclear pullback, which I believe will be severe, combined with the issues in the Middle East, is going to create a perfect way for fossil fuels. We will see a fossil fuel boom.
This is a golden opportunity to absorb the CO2, to brownwash the fossil fuel emitters.
Lots of room right now for everybody to have a piece, but over time we're going to coalesce into what I think is going to be the algae best-of-breed system.
The world needs viable algae productions that are end-to-end, that are really working, that are at a decent scale yesterday. So working with people in Australia and people in Mexico, other places we haven't announced yet, we're going to have these proof-of-concept systems at reasonable scale, and we're going to make sure they work, and we're not going to be prideful and say only our technology. No. If somebody else's technology does a better job, throw it in, make these sites work.
I think that OriginOil is going to be around for a long time. They definitely bring the technology to the industry, which is needed from a commercial basis, not from a research basis, but from a commercial basis.
Algae, all of a sudden, is going to hit the prime time. It's going to go boom.
Well, somebody in the organization has a nice career in front of them as a producer. That was a nice-looking piece, especially like the establishing shot at the beginning.
Well, I have yet another brother who does video production, and Stephen did that. He did a wonderful job.
Wonderful job. So, how was what you were talking about received by the other members of the association?
The positioning, people love the positioning. First of all, the message really that we're on this verge of a critical mass explosion, reinforced by President Obama's wonderful speech yesterday. Mm-hmm. I mean, by 2025, we're going to reduce our energy dependence by 1/3. That's a vast number. And of course, it means, as I predicted, a full blowout of all the drilling options in the U.S. All stops are out, mm-hmm. number one, which means algae gets to step in there and help. Right. And then, secondly, an emphasis on everything, including advanced biofuels, which is, surprise, algae. So that really resonated. Now people didn't quite know that was going to happen yet, but there's this pregnant feeling in the audience, and they love the positioning that we're going to take full responsibility for that supply chain for our customers. Not long term. This is something we're doing for these pilot systems that have to work, so that people can look at a 2.5 or 5 acre system and go, you know what? They're doing volume absorption of CO2, and they're turning it into useful products, and it's happening for real. And that will trigger our next stage, which is distributing. When Cargill or Halliburton get in the business, they'll want to integrate something that works. We want to provide the technology.
Once again, OriginOil, OOIL. Riggs, again, I've said this before, but every week you come on, the story gets better and better. Thanks so much.
We love it. Thank you, sir.